All right, team. Let's talk about the stuffed grape leaves. Um, there's many recipes out there for stuffed grape leaves, and they all come from either Greece or the Middle East. And there's many variations of them. Um, this one doesn't have meat, but a lot of them actually are cooked with lamb. If you feel like this is a great time to do it with lamb, feel free. I would tell you to take some ground lamb and cook it ahead of time. But I also want to talk to you guys about the recipe because the recipe is a little long, and I'm gonna show you how I divided up my recipe, so it'll make it nice and easy for you. Um, so I have a sheet tray here, and I cook my rice ahead of time. I no pilaf method, none of that. I just heated up the stock, added the rice and some salt, and brought it to a boil, covered it, turned it down. 18 minutes later, I had this guy's cooling down right now, and that's the first part of this recipe. Okay, and then I divided the second part of the recipe a bit different than what the actual recipe calls for, because I feel like they have too many steps, and I kind of want to break this down for you so it makes your life easy. The first thing you should do is drain your grape leaves and put them in water. The liquid that they come in is a brine and it's really salty, and we wanna embrace that, but we also want to take some of the extra saltiness out. So I have that there, and then my tray I kind of have it set up in stages. Stage number one, I have it calls for onion and garlic and ginger, and I have all three of those in here. Actually, this is a leftover half a shallot that I had, so I just did a little bit of ginger, 2 cloves of garlic, and about a half a shallot. That's what I have here. And then the second step is all the green stuff. So I have my parsley, my dill, my mint, and my green onions, and that's all right here. All right, and then after that I have my pine nuts, and then all my spices are in the same place. I already mixed them all up. Okay, and then I have my egg and my lemon, and then I have my currants. And we're probably gonna use about a third of the currants. Okay, but now that I have everything ready to go, we can get started. Okay, and this will be the first part of this recipe. It's fairly easy. You can get the grape leaves and put them somewhere safe, out of the way, and then we can go ahead and cook this part. The idea is that we're cooking the rice, cooling it down. We're cooking our aromatics and spices, cooling them down, then bringing them back together, putting some egg in there as a binder, and then rolling them up and steaming them. So this is going to be kind of a 3-step video. The first part is this part where we talk about the mise en place, and we cook the rice and we cook the aromatics and cool them down. Then I'll show you how to put the mixture together and roll them up, and then the third part I'll show you how to steam them. Alright, so I have a medium high heat right here in my pan. I have some olive oil. Olive oil comes into the pan, and I have my shallot, ginger, and garlic, and that's going to go in there. And all we're doing is basically, it's almost like we're creating a pilaf separate. All the aromatics separately and the rice separately, and then we'll mix them together. Okay? So I'm going to take this guy and start cooking them. And I'm not going to wait until these are done to add the other ingredients. I'm going to throw the other ingredients in there when these are about halfway cooked. Okay. This is a really delicious appetizer, or you can actually use it as an entree and use the donuts as the main item, right? And you can come with like raw vegetables or a salad, right? But usually a meze is what will come with this, which is just an array of vegetables and olives and yogurt and that type of stuff. Alright, so my onion and garlic are about halfway. At this point, I'm going to add my pine nuts, and I'm going to toast them in here. And it's important that you continue moving them. looking here for, so I'm still looking at the shallot, making sure it's starting to get translucent. I'm looking for the aroma of the ginger and the garlic, but I'm also looking for a little bit of color on those pine nuts. We're looking pretty good there. My onion is nice and translucent. I'm starting to get some coloration in the bottom of the pan. And at this point, I'm going to take all my green stuff and it's going in there, as well as my currants. Like I said, I think about a third of them is what I'm going to use here. Okay, now I'm going to mix this really well. And this part doesn't take really long. We don't want to have any color on this. We don't want to make the herbs brown, right? So at this point, turn that off. I want you to look at my mixture. It's nice and bright. It smells super herby. Like I can smell the mint and the dill and the parsley. And now I'm just going to take my lemon and squeeze it in here. And then take my spoon and try to pick up as much of that fond as I can. Alright, so and now I just gotta let this mixture cool down, so I'm just gonna move it onto my pan, let it cool down, and then once it's cool, I'll see you guys for the second part. At this point, you should have your mixture with your nuts and your fruit and your aromatics. You should have a container with your spices, and you should have the rice and an egg. And if you're there, that's a good spot to be. Okay, team. So my rice is cold, my mixture is cold. We're ready for our second step. So I have a container right here where we can get our mixture going. I'm going to place my rice in there. I'm going to place, I think I gave you like a half a cup of rice, which should make like a cup and a half. And that should be good enough there. And then to the rice, I'm going to add all my spices. Okay. I'm going to start mixing that really well. And while you're mixing it, try not to smash it. Like, okay? Be a little gentle with it because we're going to mix it multiple times. And you should get this, you should start smelling the turmeric and the fennel. Okay, and it should look like that. Okay, now we can take our onion mixture and add it in here. Okay, and we're just gonna give this one more mix. Taste it for salt. We need a little salt. A little bit of pepper. And now that our rice mixture is ready, or almost ready, we can take our egg. I have my egg right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix my egg first. And then pour our egg in there. Once I pour my egg in there, I find it easier to mix it with the fork. So I'm switching over with the fork. if you were one of those people that cook the ground lamb and the ground lamb is cold, it can go in here as well. You can do it with any ground meat. The goal is that everything is small enough that will not ruin our leaves. Okay. All right, now move this forward. While things were cooling down, I took my grape leaves and placed them in a paper towel. And I opened them all up. They look kind of like so. Alright, and I like placing them with the base of the leaf towards me. Okay? And also, there's the top of the leaf and the bottom of the leaf. If you look, that's the top of the leaf, and you'll notice that you could see where the veins of the leaf are, but they're not out. If you look at the back side, you'll notice that the veins are higher up in the back side, and we want the back side up, so that way we have the pretty side out. Okay, once you have your leaf all ready to go here, we'll take some of this mixture, and I think the big thing here is not to put too much. Okay, I got a spoon there. It's about I think about an ounce and a half. Okay, and then we're gonna roll them like if we would be making a burrito. Both sides go in, and make sure you kind of pinch it against the leaf, and then pick the base up and start rolling it. Like so. You should end up with one of these. Okay? Let me tuck that guy in a little bit there. Just like that. It should not be too tight, but it should also not be too loose. We don't need to put anything on them for them to seal, because the filling is full of egg, and that's what's gonna bind. Okay? So here we go one more time. And if some of you guys, if you have small leaves, like really small leaves, like I'll give you a comparison. I believe my hands are fairly big. That's what my leaf looks like. If you have a leaf that is tiny, like I have some leaves here that are fairly small, and you can tell here by how small they are, then use two. Okay? I'll show you how to use two here in just 1 second. But here we go, one more time. Leaf is there. Got my filling. Filling comes to the leaf. Tuck one side in. Next side. Pinch it. Pick up the base of the leaf and roll it up. It should look like that. Alright. If you have two leaves, if you have two small leaves, place them sideways, okay, and stack one with the other, and then we can proceed with the same technique. Okay, fairly easy. Here we go. Get the filling. Filling comes in, side in, Other side in, pinch it. Okay. Grab the leaf and roll it up. There we go. And that's one with 2 leaves. And this is one. This one is 1 leaf. That one's 2 leaf. Same size. It's important that your leaves and your amount of filling is about the same, so they cook about the same time. Okay, I'm gonna continue rolling here, and once I have them all ready to go, I'll show you. So, if you looked at your recipe, it would call for steaming your rolls. Right, I have my rolls in a small plate right here. And I always try to find a plate that fits into my pan. Right, whatever pan you use, regardless if it's a pot or a satay pan, you gotta make sure you have a lid for it. Okay, if you don't have a lid for it, aluminum foil works just fine. Okay, fairly simple. I went out to my yard and I found 3 rocks right here. I'm gonna place my 3 rocks in my pan so they balance my plate, so my plate is above the bottom of the pot. In the bottom of the pot, I'm going to add some water. Just enough to come about halfway on the rocks. Okay? Then I take my plate and I place it right on the pan. It's okay if it's a little tilted, straight, doesn't matter. Right? The idea is that the rolls are suspended above the water. Right? And I'm just gonna crank this on high. I'm gonna put my lid on it and I'm gonna let it cook for about 20 minutes. And the goal is for our egg to cook in there. I'm gonna temp the inside of them. Should be about 140 degrees. That'll tell me that the eggs are cooked. All right, so I'm gonna let this cook here, and I'll show you. Okay, team, I've been waiting for about 20 minutes, and these rolls are done now. I know they're done because they're solid. When you press them, they feel fairly solid, which means our egg has cooked all the way. And we're ready to go. And I have a little bit of water left over in my pan. I had to make an addition of water, so as I was looking at them, I added a little bit more water just to make sure I did not run out of water. Okay, and I have a plate here, and let's just put this together. It should be fairly easy. I have some plain yogurt right here, and I'm going to season with salt and pepper. Okay, if you want to add lemon to it, you surely can. It's a great addition to this as well. Just mix it up. I'm gonna go on the plate. It's a nice blob of a spoon and a half of yogurt, and I'm just gonna spread it out a little bit. Get this out of the way, and then we'll take our rolls, put them right here. You guys can see that. Like so, and this is a great appetizer, okay? And then in the other side of the plate, I have some pieces of cucumber right here, and I'm gonna put these guys right here, like so. And I have some wedges of tomato. I'll place those right next to, and I'll run my knife real quick right here. I have some parsley, some dill, and some mint. I'm just gonna roughly chop it. I'm not gonna get too meticulous with it. I don't want it too small, but some of these pieces in there will make this dish really delicious. And I have some olive oil right here. I'm just gonna pour olive oil on the whole thing, and then take my herbs, and I'm pretty heavy with the herbs. And just add a bunch of herbs over it. And you can have something like this for if you have people coming over, or it's a great snack. Just dip them in the yogurt and eat them.